Hello everyone. This is International Master Ravi Teja from Project Knowledge Chess Academy. We train young talents across the globe of all the levels. Okay, today I am here to discuss about the importance of alertness in a position. So you can clearly see here it seems like white queen has made an early hunting trip to h4 to attack the castle position. That means if black want to play castling, then maybe white has interest to sacrifice the bishop and try for some checkmating patterns. So here, what should black supposed to do? Of course, this position is a very well-known position, well in the Caro-Kann defense, which was very popular in the 1970s, 1980s era, especially by the previous ex-world champion Anatoly Karpov. Right. So here, black played a move, king e7. In the first glance, it seems like an ugly move, right? Let us try to understand what are the threats of black. So first primary threat is black want to play g5 and trap the queen. You can clearly see the queen has got no real good square. The g3 is controlled by the bishop and h3 can be controlled by this, and maybe even g4, and these squares are controlled by the knight, and the queen is really short of the squares, short of some good squares, isn't it? So king e7 is a very powerful move in my opinion, and it changed the character of the game, which seemed the position which felt like black is in problem. Within one move, black managed to get a beautiful position. Now white is forced to play knight e5. The point of knight e5 is just to create some room for the queen. So bishop into e5, d into e5, queen a5 check, and you can just gain the pawn with this simple tactic. So this is what I wanted to discuss. So the alertness, if you are not alert, I am sure that it's very hard to find a move like king e7, isn't it? Let's go to a similar example. So again, in this position, you can again see white is somehow pressing. Maybe I think white's last move was knight d2. So what is basically white threatening here? White is threatening to take knight into f6 and a free bishop on b7. Okay, I advise you to pause the video for a minute or couple of minutes and try to get the best possible move for black. Yeah. Okay. It seems like most of you guys have thought about rook b8, if I'm not wrong, isn't it? You can clearly see the bishop into d5 option, c into d5. You can clearly see the the dark squares, and the d5 is very strong. Maybe this knight can jump and hope to sit on c6 in future, isn't it? So definitely bishop into d5 is not the thing you will be hoping for. Then what else is there? Knight into d5 is clearly not possible. Castling, of course, is a blunder. If you are thinking of castling, please be aware that black can be in problems after knight f6 or knight e7, and this bishop is in hanging, isn't it? And the forcing moves such as e5 and the other forcing, e5 is also poor because it is weakening the things. Got it? So let us come to the solution. The solution is king f8. Again, very alert play by black. Black is SR7. So king f8. The point of king f8 is he wanted to take on d5 and he wanted to protect the bishop. And suddenly the character of the game is changed. That is, white is suddenly in problem because of this diagonal. Queen is in the bishop's diagonal, isn't it? So before seeing how white reacted, let me explain you why rook b8 is not such a great move. If rook b8, maybe knight into f6, maybe you will take also knight into f6, bishop into b7, rook into b7. You can see the passive character of the rook, isn't it? You really don't want to place a rook on b7, especially in a fianchetted structure. And I feel that these squares can only be capitalized by white, isn't it? And moreover, the main important thing is you are not posing any problem to white. So let us understand how king f8 is again posing problem for the white. So king f8, as I told you, queen, it cannot move anywhere. Say if it goes to h4, for example, trying to keep an invisible eye on e7, but it's really not effective. You could just take on d5, and he takes on d5, you just play h6, and say if he moves the bishop somewhere, just take on b2. Unfortunately, bishop h6 threats are not there, because you can take rook into h6, queen into h6, and you can again get your bishop to g7 and see this beautiful double attack, isn't it? Yeah. So queen h4 is also not working, and if the queen moves somewhere like d3, you could just take on d5 and maybe c into d5. I'll just take on p2 without any hesitation, and I'm going to say that I'm a pawn up. Say if you play rook b1, now I'll just exchange the dark square bishop, and if you exchange it, I think black is in upper hand, isn't it? So king f8, knight b3. Let us see how the game continued. Of course, we want to take on d5. Now, why did white play knight b3? You may wonder. He has some other trick in the sleeve. Let us see what is the trick. Knight into d5. I advise you to pause the video again and try to find the white move. Did white make a blunder playing knight b3? And no. He has the move bishop h6. A very tricky move. He is using the fact that he could not take on h6, because queen h8 will be a checkmate. So what happens if you protect it? I already told you that you really don't want to place your rook on a g7 or b7, b2, g2. In a fianchetted square, you really don't want to place your rook. That's the most dumb square possible for the rook, isn't it? So bishop h6, the most elegant move for black is knight f6, f6, bishop into g7, king into g7, c into d5. And here there is one more beautiful move. This will be the final move of the position. So the problem, okay, maybe white has some future plans of playing e4, f4, e5, and maybe he's thinking to rely on his space advantage. But with black's move here, that hopes are just vanished. Black's move is e5, a perfect move, perfect timing. The point is he cannot unpersoned because of the hanging bishop on g2. So he is forced to move the queen somewhere. Yeah, this is what we really want. This is a much better version of the King's Indian defense. Black already has a firm initiative, and say if white, plays moves like, okay, say queen d2, it's black's turn, I'm sorry. Maybe you could just play queen d7 and get your queen to a4, rook to c8. We can already sense who is in the upper hand. It is black. So see the starting position of the black, which is like an ugly position, and see the ending position. You can clearly see who is in the upper hand. So this is the alertness all players should have while playing the game. Hope you enjoyed the video and learned from these illustrative positions. Yeah, please subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you.